And welcome everyone to Sportscenetv.net. I'm Anthony Serenano along with my partner Brian Gillette, who's behind the camera today. We are coming to you from Azusa Pacific University here at the Felix Center on Hamlo Court for the Southern California Shootout 2012. It is the Rowland Raiders and the Osos Grizzlies, and we're glad you could join us in our first game of our triple header coverage. Tip-off goes to the Grizzlies, and we'll give you their starting lineups here in just a second. The Rowland Raiders coming in from the Hacienda League, 15-7 overall, 5-2 in league. The Grizzlies 8-14 overall, 1-5 in league. The jump shot put up and no good by the Grizzlies. That was number 5, Jonathan Solomon. We were talking to head coach Gordon Hamlo of the Rowland Raiders. Had a chance to talk to him and ask him, Coach, how long has it been since you started coaching here with Rowland? He said about 10 years, and boy, time does fly. I recall when Coach Hamlo took over for the Rowland Raiders program, and he has done really well with the team. Jump shot, put it up and in by number 11, Chris Arzadon. And Arzadon puts it in, puts the Rowland Raiders up on the board with 7:05 on the first quarter here, 2-0 Rowland Raiders. Coach Hamlo, when you get a chance to see the court here at APU, you see it says Hamlo Court. The jump shot bounces around, no good. Rebound back by the Raiders. Ask him, Coach Hamlo, is that for you or is that for your father? And he says, no, this is for my father. The shot taken up and in for the Rowland Raiders. Rowland Raiders from the outside takes a shot, no good. That was number 22, Saeed Montoya. So we're glad you could join us here on Sportscenetv.net. Our first game of our triple header, Rowland Raiders versus Osos Grizzlies, trailing 4-0. The Rowland Raiders taking another shot for three, counted in and good for Joseph Dionisio. And the Raiders now up 7-0. Rowland Raiders, we mentioned, 15-7 overall, 5-2 in league in the Hacienda League. Osos Grizzlies, 8-14 overall, 1-5 in league, and their league is the Baseline League. Baseline League, same league where Upland and Etiwanda. Look at this shot for three, top of the key, counted good for Harris Patel. So 7-3 is the score. Look at this, another three-point shot, no good, and the Grizzlies with the rebound. So you have Etiwanda, Upland. We got a blocking foul. Etiwanda was in our coverage about a week ago, along with Rancho Cucamonga. Etiwanda with their leading scorer in the ballgame when we covered Etiwanda versus Upland was Jordan McLaughlin. McLaughlin, the highlight reel, which we're looking forward to seeing later on in our third game of our coverage. At the foul line is number 21, Dallin Billow. Beautiful campus, beautiful facility, the APU court. This one gets in. So Billow, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. 5:21 left in the first quarter, 7-5 Rowland. Rowland getting started with a field goal and 2 3-pointers. Osos getting on the board with the three-pointer and the 2 free throws. And this one is blocked away and recovered by the Grizzlies. Nice turnover pressure by the Rowland Raiders. And going quickly in the transition, Rowland Raiders moving the ball around nicely. In the Hacienda League, they should be on top of the league there. Shot for three, just misses. Rebound again for Rowland. We talked to head coach Gordon Hamlo, asked him, how does this tournament work out? And he says, really, it's not a tournament. It's more just of a regular non-league game. what he calls, of course, the Southern California Shootout. Says teams have an ability, a nice save there, but falls right into the Grizzlies' hands, putting it up and in, up on the board, no good, hit off the glass, back to the Rowland Raiders. He said basically this is a non-league game. We have an opportunity to take several non-league games early in the year. Some teams decide to bypass, and we play it right now. So this will be considered a non-league game as the Rowland Raiders and the Los Osos Grizzlies play a nice non-league game here on campus of APU. So they're on the west side of the campus. Campus is really divided up into several locations. I know when we showed up, I think we went to the main campus, and that's where they had the Performing Arts Center look like, and we were informed, no, you just go down Foothill further west, and what a nice layup. Put it up and in for Jonathan Solomon. So that'll tie the ball game up at 7 with 4:06 remaining in the first quarter. So down Foothill Boulevard and make a right at the pillars, and there you see it. Beautiful Felix Center. And we were informed the big game is Damien versus Etiwanda by their golden voice here at the Felix Center. Put it up and in. Nice layup there for number 11, Chris Arzadon. 4 points so far in the ball game. The golden voice here at the Felix Center, the PA announcer. Nice, crisp voice. Didn't really capture his name. I don't know if we'll get a chance to see what his name is during halftime. We'll pass it along to you. So here's the 10th annual Southern California Shootout. 10 years, could be possibly 10 years because that's, as we mentioned, how long head coach Gordon Hamlow has been with the team. And I think he's basically the coordinator of the event here at Azusa Pacific University, the 10th annual. Earlier, the game that played before the Rowland and Los Osos was Flint Ridge Prep versus Alta Loma. Then after this one will be Bishop Amat girls versus the Keppel girls. Then after that is the other game of our triple header is Chino Hills versus Upland. Then you have Glendora versus Bloomington Christian, followed by Colony versus Rigetti. And then the other game of our triple header, Damien versus Etiwanda. This one goes up and in for number 25, Devay Bailey, puts it in for 2 points. And we're tied up again at 9. 3:02 remaining. Put it up and gets the bounce. Counted in and good for number 25 of the Rowland Raiders. 20 rather, Alan Young. So 11-9 ball game. You know, we were talking about Etiwanda. Look at this shot from Los Osos. Misses, but a nice save by the Grizzlies' number 4, Andre Robinson. Take a look at this wonderful collegiate facility. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Etiwanda, the scoreboard with the standard scoreboard, but you also have the players in the game and their total points in the ball game. Loose ball back to the Rowland Raiders. Nice transition for the Raiders to get the ball back, and the little jumper misses. Followed by the rebound from number 25 for the Rowland Raiders. That is Frank Wang, and he puts it in for the basket. 13-9 Raiders with 2 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Glad you could join us here on Sportscenetv.net. I'm Anthony Serenano along with Brian Gillette. And let's see if we're going to have timeout for the moment as someone ties their shoe. And that'll give us a chance to plug our website, Sportscenetv.net, capture our weekly podcast with our guests of the week call-in. Could be a coach from, whatever season we're covering. Also, we bring up highlights. And also, don't forget the podcast. You can subscribe to them on iTunes. Put this one up and off the glass. Number 14, Joshua Shang. Look at a quick response from the Grizzlies quickly. And number 4 with the ball. It's going to get fouled. That was Andre Robinson. Foul's going to go on number 14, Joshua Chang. Not only do we have our podcast, we have our weekly highlights. And now I guess you could say we're even doing full games, right, Brian? Brian giving me the thumbs up. And don't forget, of course, the Scholar Athlete, where we like to highlight the athletes who do well and are successful in the classroom as well as off the court. So plenty of content. And, of course, don't forget our forum. You can email us, send us your comments, and much more. That's here at Sportscenetv.net. So with 18 seconds on the shot clock, this one goes in and out. Follow-up rebound, puts it up and in. Number 22, Levi Smith. So with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining, it's 15-11 in favor of Los Osos. They came back from behind. And with 1:09, this quarter going by quickly, as we know, a quick quarter with a quick pace. Andre Robinson going to get hit for the foul. "35-second shot clock here in high school basketball. Here on the nice campus of Azusa Pacific University. A jumper, nice touch. Didn't even look like the net even moved. That was Bilio. Or rather, check that. 21 Jackie 2. 2 for 2. And with clock winding down with 44 seconds, 17-11, Raiders in the lead. Shot there taken for 3, it looks like. Number 25, Devi Bailey. So Bailey hits it for 3. 30 seconds left on the game clock here in the first quarter. See if Rowland can wind this quarter out. It looks like the shot clock is about 1 second ahead of the game clock for 3. Rebound by the Grizzlies. And now coming down the court there for the Grizzlies, and the ball's turned over. So a lot of turnovers here forced by the Raiders. Their defense, 5 seconds remaining, and you hear the bench's clock letting everyone know. And the shot by number 33 for 3, no good. And we're going to go into the second quarter with the Rowland Raiders leading by 3, 17-14. As we mentioned, the Los Osos Grizzlies, their head coach is David Smith, 8-14 record overall, 1-5 in league. So the Rowland Raiders taking the lead, 17-14, and we'll come back with second quarter action here on Sportscenetv.net. Just leave it like that.
Oh, you can see what I'm capturing?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I'm trying to go block. Oh, the only thing I wanted to tell you is a mass, they did a 5-man replacement in there at one point.
Okay. Yeah, just hit me up and I'll say it.
I don't know if you picked me up on the mic. That's what I'm wondering.
What time should I tell Akib to be here for the next game?
His choice.
Should I tell him what?
Yeah, just tell him we're here. We got a great setup.
Tell him we have the next game's what, at 3?
Yeah, but he can come in any time to catch footage. We have a great setup. We have a table. We're editing up here and everything. Great opportunity. Okay, we're back.
And we're now heading into second quarter action as we are coming to you from APU at the Southern California Shootout 10th Annual, as the Rowland Raiders going up against the Los Osos Grizzlies. Raiders are considered the away team here, where the Grizzlies the home team. 17-14, the Raiders lead. Little jump shot there, bounces around, no good, and rebound back to the Grizzlies. One thing that my colleague Brian Gillette made a good point there in the first quarter, there was a mass exodus of substitution, almost like a 5-man basically. Everyone who was on the court came back off. Look at this shot for 3, just missed it. And the ball is volleyed around. We'll see who the ball goes back to. They're going to give it back to the Grizzlies. So head coach Dave Smith pretty much switching out the entire staff of starters in their first quarter early to give them a break. And again, they're looking at this as a non-league game, so it goes under the overall record. So maybe the coach is a little more freely and, letting everyone get a chance to play. This shot for 3 just missed. And they're also taking these 3-point shots freely as well. If they're open, they're going to take it. Nobody's shy, so that's good. Good for us as spectators. We love to see the long ball. 17-14 the score. 7:05 remaining here in the first half. Glad you could join us here for the triple header on Sportscenetv.net. Following this ball game is Bishop Amat girls versus the Keppel girls team. And then the other game that we'll be covering here, Chino Hills versus Upland. The Huskies coming out of the Sierra League, Upland coming out of the Baseline League. We had a chance to see Upland play against Etiwanda. And Etiwanda coming away with the victory. And we'll see how the Upland team looks against Chino Hills, which Chino Hills looked really tough in that Ayala game that we covered. We also had an opportunity to watch them when they played Orange Lutheran, or not Orange Lutheran, Laverne Lutheran. This shot for three as our cameraman Brian Gillette gives out the Laloo chant. Hopefully, let's see if he'll do a few of those chants during the ball game. 6:22 remaining in this first half. 17-14's a score. That's the score it remained when we went into halftime. Down by 3. 2 team fouls on the Raiders. 1 team foul on the Grizzlies. Or as the local area calls them, just Osos, right? Driving down the lane and getting hit was for the Raiders, number 5, Joseph Dionisio.
Well, against the Grizzlies, Shijin Thomas, first personal, second team.
Shijin Thomas for Osos gets hits with a foul. And sinking that basket is Dionisio. And 2 for 2 at the line. 19-14's a score. Also, head coach Gordon Hamlow, talking to him before the game, looking like we might set him up to be our caller of the week on the weekly Prep Sports podcast. And again, Coach Hamlow with the program for 10 years now as the Raiders head coach, and he has really done wonders with that program. Jump shot, no good. Oh, everybody, watch out, batten down the hatches, and looks like number 11, Shinjin Thomas, is okay. He actually broke the fall for number 24, Derek Marr. One thing that came to mind, too, when Brian and I arrived here on the location was, why not use this for playoffs or even a CIF championship game? And unfortunately, there's a conflict with basketball schedules between APU and the playoffs and championships. So they settled for using the Anaheim Convention Center, which Coach Hamlow said isn't really that bad of a bad of a place. It's actually pretty good. It's nice and quaint and gets you really into the action. So Los Osos will get the ball back. Looks like coming in the ball game now for the Rowland Raiders is Jackie 2. 19-14 the score. Raiders in the lead. Don't think they've really trailed in this ball game much. They've really kept the lead. 3 points was the max. Right now it's at 5. So consider this a top-notch non-league game playing at a wonderful facility, and that ball goes in and out. Rebound by Osos, and the Raiders get the ball back there. Nice rebound. Looks like that was number 23 of the Rowland Raiders. That was DJ Jackson. Wide open under the basket. Counted in and good for Jackson. Jackson set that up nicely. He was wide open under the basket, and he got the pass right there from his teammate, 2. So give 2 the assist. 4:33, 21-14 in favor of the Rowland Raiders. Shot for a long 2, misses. Hits the back of the rim. Let's see here. It's 1-on-1. Driving to the lane, under the basket, puts it up, but hits the bottom of the rim. And Osos with the rebound. Oh, loose ball again. And boy, Rowland really getting the upper end on these turnovers. Long shot for 3, counted in and good. That was number 24, Derek Marr. And the Rowland Raiders take a 10-point lead with 4:01 remaining in the first half. So the Grizzlies take a timeout. And again, we're glad you could join us here on Sportscenetv.net. There you see head coach Gordon Hamlow, 10 years here at the helm of the Rowland Raiders. And we asked him, how does it feel to have your dad's name on the court? And he said, what a great honor. And we were joking with him when he was going to get something named in his name. And he told me that one of his students or his alumni said, is the ball game going to be held at Hamlow Arena on the campus of Rowland Raiders? And there you see Cliff Hamlow, the gentleman who the court is named right after. So nice gentleman, son and father right there at the court side. And these young athletes get an opportunity to learn the knowledge of the tutelage of these two professionals. And the same thing to be said for all these athletic programs. These head coaches taking the time out to coach and share their knowledge and experience and expertise. These youngsters all get wonderful, wonderful instructions from these great coaches and also teachers as well. So not only are they teaching, or not only are they coaching full time, they're teaching as well. So Hamlo teaching mathematics. So I'm sure when you go into halftime, I bet you that whiteboard is filled with equations and variables, even some geometric rules and yeah, exactly, isosceles triangles. The CPT-CP law in geometry, could never tell you what that means, but just remember the acronym CPC-TC. At APU, exactly. 3:31 remaining here in the second quarter before going to halftime. 24-14, the Raiders lead by 10. Started out with 3, now it's 10, so 3:20. Look at the nice ball work by the Raiders to set that shot wide open. That is Saeed Montayo for 3. And now it's 27-14. It'll be interesting when we talk to head coach Gordon Hamlo on the weekly podcast and get a chance to learn about his team and his program more in depth. Especially find out of course, the influence of having his father and getting him in his coaching career. Wide open for 3. The shot no good. Rowland Raiders. Nope. Grizzlies with the ball. 1-1 man, 1-to-1 coverage there. And look at that. Shot for 3. Make it in and good for Diave Bailey. That's his second three-pointer in the ball game. 2:31, 27-17, 10-point ball game still. We are on the second level of the gymnasium here. It's a 2-story gymnasium. So there you see the lower level, and then you have the upper level. We're on the opposite side. And then right there where Brian's showing you, right there behind the scoreboard, there's an actual cafe there. So you can catch a ball game and eat in the cafe. So really well thought out and well positioned area. And then maybe we get a chance to show you later on up in the rafters. We'll show you where the multimedia guys who probably play the music for the auditorium and everything sit. Nice layup going coast to coast. Number 14, Joshua Chang, picks up his 4th point in the ball game. Looks like foul's going to be hit on the Raiders. That could be number 5, Joseph Dionisio. So 29-17, 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Glad you could join us here on Sportscenetv.net, our coverage of the Southern California Shootout, the 10th Annual Southern California Shootout. I'm Anthony Saranon along with Brian Gillette. Little jumper and gets the bounce, counted in and good, and he will go to the line for Khalil Williams. Listen to our weekly podcast. We talk about different topics. I know last week was a good one. We were talking about playoffs and rankings and how they figure that out, because when you're in a particular league doesn't mean that you're in the same division. Shot was good by Williams, so he made it a 3-point play. We had Pete Marshall of the Sun newspapers on, and he did his best to try to break it down for us. And as Brian said after the show, it's clear as mud, Anthony. Can't you figure that one out? Jumper just short, hit the front of the rim, but rebound back by the Rowland Raiders. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Raiders up by 9, 29-20. 5 team fouls on the Raiders, 2 by the Grizzlies. Turnover here. That's number 4, Robinson, puts it up, and we hear the whistle. Traveling offensive foul. So Pete Marshall was able to give us an outlook on how that works out, and it's still being refined. As, you know, most of us agree, CIF really hit the nail on the head for football. We saw some really awesome games, great pairings in the league. And like Pete said, you know, they're still fine-tuning the CIF with the basketball. And we'll just see once it gets to the mark. I'm sure we're going to see the same outcome as they did for football. This one is blocked, and nice defense by the Grizzlies. And the ball will go back to Los Osos. I don't know if Brian can give you a close-up of the jersey there when they inbound the ball, but you can see the name of the player at the bottom of the jersey underneath the numbers. See Robinson. So that's a nice little deal in high school to have your last name on your jerseys. Bailey with the ball, and I could tell you, I could without having to look in my book because of the last name on the back of the jersey. Makes it easier. Back to Smith, goes to the outside. Looks like Williams feeds the ball back to Bailey, and he's going to shoot from 3. Gets it in. A nice little action there, and Bailey puts it in. That's his second third-point basket of the game, or third rather. Third in the ball game, second in the quarter. And a nice block, too, by Bailey. So offense and defensive-wise, 29-23 the score. 6-point lead by the Raiders. 23.7 seconds remaining here in the first half. Again, this is our first game of our triple header. Chino Hills versus Upland will be the next one, followed by the nightcap, Damien versus Etiwanda. And speaking to the PA announcer, he says, Damien versus Etiwanda, that's the prime game tonight. And so we'll bring that game to you. And we'll expect some good action from both teams. The Etiwanda Eagles versus the Damien Spartans. 12 seconds remaining in the game clock. They turned off the shot clock. Double team, triple team leaves a wide open number 23, DJ Jackson, unable to shoot the shot. This one is a three-point shot, and it goes in! Holy cow, that was number 4. For a long 3 by Andre Robinson. Wow, what a way to close out the quarter. The team is trailing by 3, 29-26. Amazing shot, and you know, we're going to go into halftime following the teams in to halftime, and when we get a chance to come back in the second half, we'll talk more about where that shot was taken as we go into halftime. The Rowland Raiders lead 29-26 over the Los Osos Grizzlies. And welcome back, everyone, to second half action here at the Southern California Shootout 10th Annual. The Rowland Raiders in the lead, 29-26, and wow, what an amazing athletic shot that was taken by the Los Osos Grizzlies. Number 4, Andre Robinson. We were talking about it with the PA announcer, Corey, who also goes by Sea-Dog. We said that had to be in a 70 to 75-footer shot, and I mean, the way Robinson just saw the clock wind down to 3 seconds, and he just unloads it, and it falls right in. An amazing shot by Robinson, and definitely one of the key highlights here for the ball game. And we're hoping to see a lot more of those big game shots here with our triple header as it continues with Chino Hills versus Upland, and then closing it out with Damien versus Etiwanda. And Brian, I'm looking at Brian right now. You can't see him. He's behind the camera. But Brian, what an amazing three-point shot. And we got to give Brian credit where credit's due. He did a great job capturing that ball in flight. Hopefully ESPN does not steal him away from us. But an amazing three-point shot with 3 seconds left in the first half. And this gymnasium went from party atmosphere to now almost dead quiet. The crowd real quiet. The only thing we really hear is the chatter of the players and the squeaking of the tennis shoes. But now we're hearing the crowd liven up here. 29-26, back to a 3-point lead for the Rowland Raiders off of Robinson's 3-point basket. And once again, the Rowland Raiders come out in the second half with that big Rowland Raider defense causing the turnover. We'll give you some total numbers here as we continue on in the first half. So they were up by 10 at one point. Now it's a 3. That big Robinson 75-footer 3-point basket with about 3 seconds left. That one hits the foot of the Los Osos Nolan Chevalier. Leading the scoring pack for the Rowland Raiders with 5 points is Joseph Dionisio. On the flip side, scoring 11 points is Devier Bailey for the Grizzlies. 7 minutes remaining in the opening third quarter here, this second half. And it looks like the Grizzlies come out here in the second half really pumped up, a little more energized. Maybe after that big Osos 3-point basket, head coach David Smith said, hey guys, we got it in us. Let's come out and be tough and make our ground here in the second half. Double teamed again. Good defense by the Grizzlies. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Forces the shot. Buzzer goes off, and you can really tell, Brian, we're seeing a really defensive, intense team here in the second half. So a possession change with the jump ball situation. So the Raiders get the ball. Arrow will go back to the Grizzlies. And 26 seconds on the shot clock. Moving around the horn again. Osos doing a nice job filling in the gaps, filling in the lane. Chevalier and Bailey on the outside. Not a clear shot there for the Rowland Raiders, number 24, Derek Marr. Under the basket, put it up, touch the glass, and in. That is number 2, Nolan Chevalier. So Nolan gets the basket, first 2 points in the game, and they trail by 1, 29-28, 6:09 remaining in the third quarter. Looks like foul going to be called on Zach Jackson. Rather check that. Drake Madkin of the Grizzlies. Quick jumper. Good there by the Raiders' Joseph Dionisio. 7 points in the ball game for him. Coach Hamlow getting animated there as he almost ran the full half court. Nice ball work and no basket travel called on the Grizzlies. Number 32, Drake Madkin. But we're definitely seeing a livelier and tougher defense here by the Grizzlies. They are definitely keeping man to man and filling in the gaps and any holes that are there and keeping the Raiders on the outside. Just as I say that, they go to the inside, and that's a travel call on the Raiders. So turnover goes back to the Grizzlies. We're glad you could join us here for the Southern California Shootout, 10th Annual Shootout, here on Sportscenetv.net. I'm Anthony Serenano along with Brian Gillette. This ball gets away from the Grizzlies. And the ball will go back to the Raiders. Make sure you check out the website for our weekly Prep Sports podcast, our Scholar Athlete interviews, which we will be doing here at the Felix Center here on the campus of APU. Brian had an opportunity to fill in last week, get a chance to talk to the Ponce triplets. Let's see if we remember. Matthew, Jared, and Tyler. The shot for 3 counted in and good for Joseph Dionisio. Picks up his second 3-point basket in the game. This shot for 3, number 21, counted in and good by Dalian Billion. Dallin Billow with the shot. Turnover, back again to Osos. That is the Grizzlies' number 2. Count it up and in and good for Nolan Chevalier. And Brian over here telling me, hey, I might be doing all of them today. I think he enjoyed. He said if he could handle doing 3 Scholar athletes at one time, it's pretty simple to just do 1. Actually, Brian conducted 4 in that night. 3 with the Ponce brothers and then 1 with Sean McMullen. And then, of course, Brian did the post-game interview with the head coach of the Ayala Bulldogs, head coach John Mounts. So with McMullen, Mounts, and Ponce, I don't know how Brian got things straight that night, but he did it. Not bad for just being the camera guy, he says. 17 seconds remaining in the shot clock. Down by 1 still. Osos comebacks here in the second half. 34-33 they trail. Top of the key for 3 with 3 seconds on the shot clock. No good, and that was number 24, Harris Patel. And the Rowland Raiders back on their side of the court with the ball. Nice job by the Grizzlies to close up that lane as he was driving. Loose ball, and let's see. The officials pointing back towards the Grizzlies. Now they're going to switch it around, going back to the Rowland Raiders. Usually in high school basketball games, there's only 2, right? 2 officials. Today with this special tournament, we have 3, so I'm sure that helps out, that extra set of eyes. And that's what happened probably with the calling of who got possession of the ball. First it went back to the Grizzlies, and then the official says, no, back to the Raiders, and that's where it goes. 34-33 the score, and loose ball, and the official saying this time goes back to the Grizzlies. Chevalier going to inbound the ball. And here we go, the mass exodus here. I think, yeah, they cleared out the whole floor. You're right, Brian. Los Osos clearing out the Grizzly floor. Head coach David Smith giving everybody a chance to rest and got the second unit back on here. 3:09 remaining in the third quarter. So far, entertaining second half. Defense has been the key for the Grizzlies. Reaching over and getting the foul. Rowland will get the ball back. So far, the Grizzlies playing really good defense, man-to-man defense, and anytime there's a chance to go through the paint or in the open lane, the white jerseys seal it right up. And once again, here is that example of that defense, man-to-man. Bailey right there working with Dionisio. Reached in, and I believe he's going to get called for the reaching in for the foul. And the two teams really even up with each other. Not much of a height advantage. Everyone pretty much the same. So it looks like Dionisio is going to get hit with the foul. Or rather, check that the Grizzlies, number 4, Andre Robinson, is going to hit it with the foul. And here's Robinson, the three-point maker. Goes up for the layup and comes back down, and he gets fouled on the play. So Robinson going to go to the line. And the Rowland Raiders, Jackie 2, getting called with the foul. And the golden voice of APU, the shot missed. Corey, or also known as Sea Dog. Missing that shot was Robinson. It's Robinson's first time at the free throw line. Missed that one there. I think Sea Dog is also an Atlanta Braves fan. He looks like he's got the Atlanta Braves hat, and it even looks like he might have the Atlanta Hawks jersey. And the second one's made. So 1 for 2 at the line. 34-34 is the score. We are all tied up. There's Sea Dog wearing the Hawks jersey there. 2:20 remaining in this third quarter. Defense has been prevailing for the Grizzlies and really helping out in closing the gap in the score. 18 on the shot clock. Forced the shot. And the foul going to go against the Rowland Raiders. Picking himself up off the court there was Khalil Williams. So loose ball foul. Derek Marr going to pick up a foul in the ball game. So we're even at 34. Here's the Grizzlies' chance to get on top in the game, and in and out. Heartbreaker for Smith. And the Rowland Raiders with the rebound. Jackie 2. And he has the ball back again. Started things out here, and now he has the ball back again. And just the Osos defense is really batting down the hatches here in the second half. Right there, man-to-man coverage. Robinson had to hurry to get in front of 2, but 2 still makes the shot before him. So just a little bit of a delay from Robinson's coverage left a window open for 2, and he took the shot, and now it's 36-34 in favor of the Rowland Raiders. Rowland Raiders in the Hacienda League along with the Diamond Bar Brahmas, the Walnut Mustangs. Nice shot there taken by Williams as Williams hits the shot. His 5th point in the ball game. You have the Rowland Raiders, Diamond Bar Brahmas, followed by the Diamond Ranch Panthers. Loose ball. Bonita Wildcats also in the mix. And so the ball is going to go back to the Rowland Raiders as Smith picks up his Personal foul for the Grizzlies. Less than a minute remaining, 51 seconds on the game clock, winding down. 27 seconds on the shot clock. 2, firing the ball around to his teammate there, Mar. Mar at the top of the key, looks around, finds back again there to number double deuce, Montoya. He's going to go to the basket, and we hear the whistle as he gets fouled, or we got a jump ball situation. So tied up possession, ball goes to the Grizzlies. 33 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We're even at 36. It was the Raiders on top, almost by, or at least by 10 in the first half. And then that Robinson 75-foot three-point basket kind of changed the tide and got them pumped up. And when the Grizzlies came back here in the second half, here in the third quarter, definitely battened down the hatches on the defense and have really come back and tied the ball game up. Amajoy is at the free throw line. And he makes a shot there. And as Brian says here, it's amazing how one shot can turn the tide. And, yeah, definitely the momentum changed after that. And the second shot by Oliver Amajoy is good. And it's a 38-36 ball game. Osos in the lead by 2. 19.8 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Coming up after this ball game, Bishop Amat girls versus Keppel girls, and then we'll go back on the air with Chino Hills versus Upland. Followed then by Glendora versus Bloomington Christian, Colony versus Rigetti, and then we're back on the air with our third and final game of the night, Damien versus Etiwanda. Nice shot, rejected, but a foul. A whistle blown. Levi Smith reaching over the back, swats it away. Guess it wasn't a foul. I guess he just got all ball on that one. And the Raiders will get the ball back. Timeout by the Grizzlies with 2.7 seconds remaining. Interesting use of the timeout. So the Rowland Raiders come in, as we mentioned, 15-7 overall, 5-2 in league. For the Grizzlies, 8-14 overall, 1-5 in league. Rowland Raiders 5-2. They are led by head coach Gordon Hamlow. Take a look at the Grizzlies here. And they are ranked 430th in the state, 133 in the state division, 193 in the section, and 32 in the section division. That's all from the Max Preps information. Take a look at their standings in the Baseline League, as this is considered a non-league game. Etiwanda 6-0 in league, 21-1 overall. Upland 5-1 in league, 15-6 overall. Glendora 3-3 in league, 16-7 overall. Rancho Cucamonga 1-4 in league, 11-10 overall. Altaloma 1-4 in league, 9-11 overall. And then the Grizzlies 1-5 in league, 8-14. So with 2.1 seconds remaining, the Raiders with the ball, and the shot clock goes off. Rather, check that, the game clock goes off, and we end the third quarter, and the Rowland Raiders trailing by 2, 38-36 in favor of the Grizzlies. And don't forget to make sure to catch our weekly Prep Sports podcast here on our Sportscenetv.net website, along with our Scholar Athlete, where we highlight an athlete who does it well, not only on the court, but also in the classroom, and our forums, where you can send us your questions, comments, and feedback. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on our iTunes, where you'll update regularly when our next new iPod podcast is posted. We're going to take a look and see for the Rowland Raiders here, if we get a chance. We're going to flip through and see how the Rowland Raiders are doing in the Hacienda League. As the official score trying to tell them, come on guys, let's get things moving. Time to go for the next one. And it's interesting how this tournament works. They're just shuffling them in and out. So the first ball game finished, and boom, they are bringing in the Rowland game. And I think the Rowland game only took about 10 minutes right after the game that was Flint Ridge Prep versus Altaloma. And we'll take a look at some of the stats here and rankings and standings for the Rowland Raiders as we start the fourth quarter. Rowland Raiders were leading at one point by 10. And now the defense by the Grizzlies still staying strong. Jump shot counted in and good for Chris Arzadon. And he picks up 2 points in the game. So 38-38. Arzadon also gets hit with the foul. Ibarra bringing in the ball there. 7:18 remaining in the ball game. 38-38. Ball's turned over. And back to the Rowland Raiders. Bonita is in the league with the Raiders. A shot for three just misses off the back of the rim. And Osos with the rebound. Bonita 7-0 over in league, 18-4 overall. They're in first, followed by the Rowland Raiders 5-2, 15-7 overall. That one goes right off the glass. And Alvarez with the shot makes it in and good. Alvarez wearing number 42 sinks that one in. And we have a loose ball again, back to the Raiders. Oh, and that pass went to no one. And Coach Hamlow not happy about that one and calls a timeout. 2-point lead by the Grizzlies, 40-38. So our triple header here on Sportscenetv.net started out here with Rowland versus Los Osos, followed by Chino Hills versus Upland, and then Damien versus Etiwanda. Head coach, as we mentioned, for the Los Osos Grizzlies, Coach David Smith. Coach Gordon Hamlow for the Raiders. On the next game, we have the Chino Hills Huskies versus the Upland Highlanders. Chino Hills Huskies head coach Steve Bake. For the Upland Highlanders, John McNally. And then for the Damien Spartans, Etiwanda Eagles, head coach Matt Dunn of the Spartans, longtime coach. And Dave Kleckner for the Etiwanda Eagles. If you want to catch more info, highlights, our weekly podcast, just check out our website at www.sportscenetv.net. And you can hear our podcast. Yeah, our podcast as well with head coach Steve Bake. We had a chance to talk to him. And of course, our post-game interview with Coach Kleckner of Etiwanda and their big game against Upland where they came out victorious. Jordan McLaughlin with that smashing slam dunk, to say the least. Can you believe that? I think that almost already has 3,000 hits on the website, Brian. That's amazing. Slam dunk, 3,000 hits. Just show you. So we'll see how many hits we can get for that three-point halftime shot by Robinson. Again, loose ball, turnover, back to the Grizzlies, and a foul. And McLaughlin, we had an opportunity to even feature him as our scholar athlete as well, and it's always great to hear what these young student athletes have to say as far as what they're looking forward to do in the future, certain colleges they're interested, what subject, GPAs, and especially the influences that they, look up to, who they mentor, and of course the big picture, Mac or PC. That one goes up and in. Number 11, Chris Arzadon makes it in. I think he also got a fist to the face as well. Loose ball. Let's see where this one goes. This one's going to go back to the Grizzlies. 40-40 is the score. 5:44 remaining in the game. Coming in the ball game for the Rowland Raiders, Jackie 2 and Frank Huang. Ball is inbound by the Grizzlies. Chevalier with the ball. Going to probably use as much of the clock as they can. Clock exercising. This one goes under the basket, just too high for the Grizzlies. Jonathan Solomon. 5:28 remaining in the ball game. 40-40 is a score. So as Coach Hamlin said, this is a non-league game, so it will go in the overall record column. As he said, teams have an opportunity to play as many certain amount of non-league games earlier in the year. Some choose to bypass it and use it for the tournament, such as the shootout, to play. And boy, other tournaments going on around the league too as well. So there are certain locations, but beautiful venue here at APU, Felix Center, Hamlo Court, campus of APU, the west side, as Brian says. Top of the key for three, just misses it, bounced around. And the Grizzlies back with the ball, see if they can get back on top here. Long two, no good. Back to the Raiders. Bringing it back is two, coast to coast. No, puts on the brakes, passes around to Esparza. Two with the ball again. 26 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Nice spin move there. Going to feed it to number 23, Jackson, who puts it up, unable to get it in for the layup. And the Grizzlies again with another opportunity to jump back on top. This one's intercepted by Esparza of the Rowland Raiders. So a turnover. So for the Grizzlies, so close but yet so far to get back on top here, as we are still tied 40-40 the score. Two. Back around to the outside to Huang. Huang's shot underneath the basket to number 14, Chang, no good. So again, back to Los Osos. Let's see what they can do. Chevalier going coast to coast, puts it up and in. So Nolan Chevalier puts it up and in and breaks the tie, 42-40. Again, we're glad you could join us here on Sportscenetv.net. Our triple coverage here at the 10th Annual Southern California Shootout. Putting it up and it no good with a shot there was Jackie 2, but look, gets the ball back. Gets his own rebound. Bounce pass to Huang. Huang with 3:14. Looks like he's going to go into the lane. Tipped, let's see. I think it was last touched by the Grizzlies. Drake Madkin. Off the tip of his hands, and the official having to talk to head coach Dave Smith, saying, "No, it touched his fingertips." And Coach Smith on the other end of the court, unable to see that, but it clearly touched the fingers. We could see that from our vantage point here. Looks like now coming in the ball game, Chris Arzadon and Joseph Dionisio. And here comes a four-man change for the Grizzlies. You have Williams, Bailey, Smith, and Robinson. They're checking in. And checking out is Modkin, Chevalier, and Billow. And also looks like number 24, Harris Patel, coming out. Looks like he's taking the different route. He's going behind the scorer's table. Two, looks like he wants to go in for two, but the whistle blows. Traveling call. Heard a whistle, didn't see a signal. That's what we can assume that's what it was. And the ball will go back to the Grizzlies. 42-40, 2:58 remaining in the ball game. So we mentioned the Grizzlies were actually trailing by 10 at one point, but after that Robinson three-point basket from about 75 feet away, here we go, stolen ball from Arzadon. He puts it up and in. 6 points for Arzadon, and we got a tied ball game, 42 even. 2:30 remaining in the game. We are tied at 42 rather. Big difference in the Osos ball game here in the second half. Defense was the key. And we have a whistle, and could the foul be going against Bailey of the Grizzlies? And a blocking foul.
Foul is on Bailey of Los Osos. His second of the game, and team.
And it looks like the scorer table telling that's his sixth foul, or the sixth foul for both teams. So we're getting close to the 1-and-1 period if they get into one more. And once that happens, really the free throws going to be key in the ball game, especially with both teams evened up here in the second half. 42-42 the ball is the score in the ball game. 2 minutes, just getting close to 2 minutes. 2:08 remaining in the game. And a foul, and now looks like we're going to the bonus. So a foul goes against the Grizzlies, and that makes the bonus shot going to the free throw line. DJ Jackson. Jackson is short on that one. 0 for 1 at the free throw line for Jackson. So Jackie 2 picks up the foul, and now at the free throw line, Robinson 0 for, or rather check that, 1 for 2 at the line. Misses that one. 1 for 3, rebound back to the Rowland Raiders. 1:53 remaining in the game. We'll see, will it be the Raiders? Will it be the Grizzlies? Stay tuned. Back and forth ball game right now. And a foul against Bailey. Bailey putting a forearm on the Raider, and the official right there to make the call. Going to the free throw line, looks like Jackie 2. 2 has 4 points in the ball game, scored a basket in the first quarter, 1 in the third. And nails it. 2 with 5 points in the game. And 2 gets that one to bounce in. So 2 for 2 at the line, and it's 44-42. Timeout called by the Rowland Raiders. So 44-42 is the score. The Rowland Raiders were up at one point, again by 10 points. After that Robinson 70-footer three-point basket was the turning point. And there you see the Rowland Raiders, 15-7 overall, 5-2 in league, second place in the Hacienda League, just behind the Bonita Wildcats. There you see head coach Gordon Hamlow and his father Cliff Hamlow as they are playing on Hamlow Court. So great honor to have the court named after you. There you see Hamlow Court here on the campus of APU. On the west end, right? West side of Foothill. West campus. So with 1 minute, 44 seconds, 2 points, 1 basket is what determines if we're going to go into overtime or if the Grizzlies can stay on top. Putting up the layup, no good. Looks like it was number 5, Jonathan Solomon. And the foul going to go against DJ Jackson. Solomon at the free throw line for the first time in the ball game. Nice arc on that one, gets it in and good. Solomon with 3 points in the ball game, gets real quiet in the gymnasium here, as everyone letting Solomon get the concentration he needs. And gets that one as well. So it is now a 44-44 ball game, with 1 minute, 22 seconds remaining in the game. This is really going to come down to the wire. Raiders going to move that ball around and get that shot that they need. And even drawing a foul is not a bad idea as well. They can get that taken care of. That puts them to the bonus, and they can make 2. It's an easy 2 points at the free throw line. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Forcing the shot from the Grizzlies, putting it up. Ball goes in and out, and putting it up for the second time. No good. Volleyed around and back into the hands of Joseph Dionisio. He took the first shot, got the rebound, and on the third one got the rebound as well, but got a whistle and the foul. Andre Robinson's going to get called for the foul. In the ballgame now is Madkin and Patel. They'll take over in the ballgame for Smith and Williams. So at the free throw line for the Rowland Raiders, number 23, DJ Jackson. Jackson was at the free throw line earlier, unable to get it. 4 points for Jackson. Gets that one in, make it 5. So 49.7 seconds remaining. Jackson gets the second shot here, hits it. And he is 2 for 3 at the line, and Jackson puts his team in the lead, 46-44. Timeout called by the Rowland Raiders. And there you see the Grizzlies with the head coach Dave Smith. And you got to give it to the Grizzlies a good turnaround here in the second half. And we are glad you could join us. We're here at the Azusa Pacific University on the campus for the Southern California Shootout, the 10th annual shootout. The game prior to this was Flint Ridge Prep versus Alta Loma. You have the Raiders versus the Grizzlies. Then followed this ball game will be Bishop Amat girls versus Keppel girls. And then in our second of our 3-game coverage, Chino Hills versus Upland, we'll be bringing that to you. And then Glendora versus Bloomington Christian, followed by Colony versus Rigetti. And then our third and final game, Damien versus Etiwanda. And then they close things out here at the shootout, La Cañada versus Maranatha. And there you see a shot of the crowd here as they are waiting to see the outcome of this ball game. 49.7 seconds remaining. 46-44 the score. Looks like leading scorers for the Raiders is Joseph Dionisio with 10. Chris Arzadon with 10. $11 points for Bailey for the Grizzlies. So going into halftime, it was 29-26. The Rowland Raiders in the lead, and this young man right here, Robinson, is what was the difference, I think, for the Grizzlies, the turning point. And they came in the second half, and they are down by 2. 36 seconds remaining. Robinson driving through the lane, unable to get the shot. And we got a tie-up by Robinson and 2. And are we going to have a jump ball situation or foul? We'll see. And they're going to say jump ball, and the arrow goes to the Grizzlies. And so it'll switch back to the Raiders. So with 30.5 seconds remaining, that is the game clock and the shot clock as we have a timeout here for the moment. Brian Gillette getting all the action here. As you can hear Brian on our weekly Prep Sports podcast. And also Brian was interviewing in the post-game matchup after the Ayala game as they played Claremont. Interviewed our Scholar Athletes of the Week. We had Matthew, Tyler, and Jared Ponce, along with Sean McMullen. And, of course, also doing the post-game interview with Coach Mounts. We'll be having our Scholar Athletes as well interviewed here at APU. I believe Brian's got that lined up, right, Brian? We got our Scholar Athlete coming up after the game. We'll do an interview and post that to the website. And, again, it's always interesting to hear what career fields these young men are looking to get into, who their inspiration mentors are, pregame rituals, things they like to do besides playing sports, and of course the big key, Apple or PC. I think when you interviewed the Ponce brother, I think they all said Apple. They got the iPhones. Ball is inbounded to the Grizzlies, and let's see. The shot by Solomon, no good. Followed up with the rebound, no good. Still up with the basket for a third time. Solomon for the fourth shot, still no good. Put it up, no good for the sixth time, and the Raiders are going to hold on to the ball. And you can just hear the crowd in here, the oohing and awing, and head coach Dave Smith, a little frustrated after 5 times. The sixth basket did not fall in, but you got to give it to the Raiders defense for holding that off. 15.9 seconds remaining in the game. 46-44 is the score. The Rowland Raiders lead by 2. Again, once up by 10. Thought we were on a little bit of a roller coaster ride there, Brian. Oohing and awing, and everybody was just waiting to see if that basket went through the hoop. And unfortunately for Osos, it did not. I mean, I think Solomon took 2 shots. Robinson had 1 shot. I think Bailey took a shot. Unfortunately for the Grizzlies, the ball did not fall in. And then for the Rowland Raiders, getting the rebound was Jackie 2, and he held on to it. They were smart enough to call timeout to get him out of that area so they could just inbound the ball. The ball will be inbound by Chris Arzadon. 10 points for Arzadon. And we're going to get a 5-second violation here, or do we have a timeout? Let's see. Looks like we have a timeout again before the 5-second violation. It is quiet in this gymnasium. I think everyone's waiting to see what happens. 15.9 seconds remaining in the game. Let's just go through the list of players and give them their kudos. We'll take a look at some of the players' names here. For the Rowland Raiders, let's take a look and see. Joseph Dionisio, Eddie Esparza, Chris Arzadon, Raymond Lin, Joshua Chang, Kelvin Zhao, Saeed Montoya, Jackie 2, Derek Marr, Alan Young, Zach Johnson, DJ Jackson, Frank Yu, Steven Nagan, J.R. Hernandez, and Gershon Aragon. And then for Los Osos, on their side, you have Nolan Chevalier, Andre Robinson, Jonathan Solomon, Shinjin Thomas, Ryan Coleman, Dallin Billow, Levi Smith, Harris Patel, Devier Bailey, Justin Robinson, Drake Madkin, Khalil Williams, Richard Ibarra, and Oliver Amajoyi. And, of course, Rowland Raiders led by head coach Gordon Hamlow, Coach David Smith for Los Osos. Entertaining ball game. It has really been a good one coming down to the wire. And that big 3-point basket by Robinson. We'll definitely post that one up on the Sportscenetv website for everyone to take a look and see. 15.9 seconds remaining. Really what's been standing out is that Jordan McLaughlin slam dunk and this Robinson 3-point basket. And it looks like reaching in is going to be the call as Jackie 2 draws the foul there. It's going to be number 24 of the Grizzlies, Harris Patel. So 12.9 seconds remaining in the game. Our second game of our triple header, Chino Hills Huskies against the Upland Highlanders. A shot by 2 is good. Jackie 2, 3 for 3 at the free throw line. 7 points in the ball game. And we got timeout for the moment. So the timeout called by the Los Osos Grizzlies. Taking a look at the Grizzlies, let's take a look and see. You have Nolan Chevalier with 6 points. Andre Robinson with 4. Jonathan Solomon with 4. Billow with 5. Smith with 2. Patel with 3. Bailey with 11. Williams with 5. And Amajoyi with 2. On the flip side for the Rowland Raiders, you have Dionisio with 10. Arzadon with 10. Chang with 4, Young with 2, 2 with 7, Montoya with 3, Jackson with 6, Mar with 3, and Huang with 4. 12.9 seconds remaining, and 2 get a second shot at the free throw line. Made the first one. Looks like getting ready to check in for the Raiders. It's Joshua Chang. And 2 sinks it in. So 4 for 4 at the free throw line. 48-44 for the Rowland Raiders. And we kind of said that as we were going in and we noticed the teams were going to be in the bonus. This is really where it counts, is in the free throw line. And the Rowland Raiders making it happen at the line. Bailey's for 3. No good. Rebound. Put up and in for 2. That's number 24, Harris Patel. And timeout called by the Grizzlies. So 48-46. And Sea-Dog behind the mic letting us know that all the timeouts have been utilized. There he is on your left. The golden voice here at APU.
Turn around, Steve. You don't.
Brian trying to get him to turn around, but there he is, the golden voice of APU. And if you can take a look and see, the young ladies are in the corner getting ready to show their action here. Bishop Amat versus Keppel. I believe that is Bishop Amat there. The Lancers getting ready to square off here at the Southern California Shootout. So with 2.5 seconds remaining in the game, 48-46 is the shot. Brian looking for the clock. There it is. We weren't just showing you the indoor lighting of APU. We were looking for the clock. There it is. If you're liking the camera angles and shots that you see, send an email. We got our link on our website or comments at, or rather, Sportscenetv at yahoo.com. Double team to get the foul. Brian soliciting jobs from Fox Sports or ESPN. So the foul will put the Raiders at the line. That is Jackie 2, 4 for 4 at the line. Coach Hamlow on the sides there doing a little coaching to Saeed Montoya. Looks like the Raiders are also getting ready to bring in some fresh players from the bench. Montoya coming in and Jackson. 2 hits the shot. 5 for 5 at the free throw line. 3-point lead, 49-46. Make it a 4-point lead, 50-46. So with 9/10 of a second remaining. And that'll do it. As the Los Osos Grizzlies come close but fall short, as the Rowland Raiders come out with a victory, 50-46. We're here with head coach Hamlow of the Rowland Raiders. Coach, before we talk about the tournament itself, because we know you're the coordinator as well, president, lead chief executive officer, let's talk about your team's performance in the game against Los Osos. Tell me your thoughts.
Well, I thought we came out and I thought we played hard initially. I thought we moved the ball really well offensively. Our defense was solid. We kind of faded a little bit, and I don't know if that's playing back-to-back nights or what, but we had several turnovers in the second half and just kind of got out of sync offensively. We were able to pull it out.
One thing we noticed in the second half was Los Osos seemed like they changed tempo on defense. Did you guys notice the same thing as well? They seemed to be a little more up on top of their assignments and a little more aggressive.
Yeah, they were a lot more aggressive. We got to where we're much better when we're moving and cutting off picks, and we got to where we were dribbling all over the court, and that I thought that hindered us from getting the we only had 1 assist in the second half, and we're a team that's got to have 6-7 assists per half, and so we weren't moving the ball. So yeah, it was probably partially their defense, but I thought a lot of it was we kind of put our head down and didn't pay a whole lot of attention to things around us.
Well, you guys came out with a victory. It's nice to come out with a victory, especially, like I said, you're coordinating the event. Your 10th year coaching here, or coaching with Rowland, 10 years putting this on.
11.
11. Tell me what goes behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see.
Here at the event,
Everywhere, everything you got to do.
you know, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I have wonderful kids that I get to work with, so it makes it easy to go into work and want to be there. We run a spring league, a fall league, a summer league at Rowland, and this event here, we run a tournament during the season, but I've got wonderful kids. They're fun to be around. I actually, I took my son, he's a senior this year, brought him to Rowland because I think it's just a good place to be. And we've got wonderful kids. It showed at the end of the game when we were able to pull it out. We have kids that are able to focus, listen, and run their assignments very, very well. And it's just a fun place.
I think one game that everyone's looking forward to seeing is the Damien versus Etowanda. Guess you got a nice little highlight or main event tonight for all of us, a nice treat. How'd you end up booking that?
Well, Coach Kleckner from Etowanda and Coach Dunn from Damien have been coming for several years. And, we were talking in the preseason and just felt like this is too good a matchup not to put together. Etowanda is very good. Number 3 in 1AA, in Division 1AA for our section. And they're tough as anybody around. Damien's number 1 in their division and in 2AA, and we played them firsthand. They're pretty dang good. So it was the right thing to do, and I think it'll be a great game.
Finally, one thing I'd like to personally mention as well is not only are you head coach, not only are you also coordinating this tournament, you're also a family man. You also have a job. You work full-time at Rowland in the mathematics department. I guess you guys just finished wrapping up finals not too long ago. I mean, when do you find time to give yourself a break?
Basketball is a break.
That's your break, huh?
I coach golf in the spring.
Wow.
So I'm still at basketball, but I get to go to golf in the afternoon. It's kind of a mental break, and you're really refreshed come spring practice and ready to hit the ground running. And, it's easy to stay energized when you have great kids. And I can't say more about that. It's I've had a lot of great groups. This is right there at the top in terms of people. Wins and losses will come, but it's the people you work with that's the most important and the funnest aspect of it.